And of course, it's all about Bach fever. Not again. It has been. It just hasn't died,
No,
and
it
we're not letting it die. I think for the time being, just keeping and keep fanning that flame, and keeping it alive for as long as it will stay.
Oh, as long as possible.
Yeah.
And these are just some of the snippets for what's been said, what some of the pictures that have come out of these last couple of days. I mean, it wasn't even a week ago that the Bokke won the World Cup.
You know my favorite pick.
What was it? Oh yeah, you told me. And it's kind of along this line with Sia holding up this trophy, but it's even more powerful. But here's one, a quote from the captain: "The kids must keep dreaming and keep believing. Anything can be overcome." It's such a beautiful lesson to be learned, and I just think South Africans are grasping at this. And we were actually talking to this off air, just saying how you can never downplay how desperately South Africans, I'm not talking about anybody else, I'm talking about the citizens of South Africa want this country to be what we're seeing now. Because these are visuals of citizens, these are visuals of normal people out in the streets, coming together, going to the airport, having this unifying attitude, which is just so incredible.
Yeah.
Absolutely loving it.
And just as a reminder, hopping back to the Madiba magic years, and this is what our late great former president had to say: sport has the power to change the world. It has the power to inspire. It has the power to unite people in a way that little else can do. And it speaks to youth in a language that they understand. And sport can create hope where once there was only despair.
Beautiful, really. This is a quote that, of course, will stand the test of time. But you know, at the end of the day, this is a very important quote from Rassie Erasmus. It shouldn't just be sport that unites this country. It shouldn't be, and it's not the job of only sports to do this. And that's what the debate that everybody seems to be having. Yeah, my gosh, you just think that, you know, a Rugby World Cup is going to do the job. No, there is a lot of things that must be added. But the reality is that this always has and always will lift the spirits of South Africans and ensure that we continue to strive for this unity. But here's what Rassie Erasmus had to say. Overall, we started talking about pressure. And what is pressure? Pressure in South Africa is not having a job. Pressure is having one of your close relatives murdered. Rugby shouldn't be something that creates pressure. It is something that creates hope. Love that. I think that's such an important message.
Absolutely. And I think to end off these quotes for now, with Captain Fantastic himself, Sia Kolisi, saying, "We're playing for the people back home. We love you, South Africa, and we can achieve anything if we work together as one."
Yeah, beautiful.
But you see, this speaks to a common purpose. We need to, as a nation, come together and have a common purpose and work towards that. That's the only way where we will get to where we want to be as a united nation.
I mean, it really is. It's not, you know, it's not anything more than what it is. You know, if you looked at that team of incredible individuals that came together and they worked, as Sia said, as a team, as a unified team with a common goal. And if we could all do something like that, I mean, those are the lessons you learn from sports.
And as we see the pictures there, I think, you know, this is scary because I think even with her back towards us, I think that is Togo Didiza.
It looks like it, it looks like it.
Pam Chwete to the left,
Patricia de Lille.
In the white shirt. Then Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma, I saw here's Patricia de Lille. And just some of our cabinet ministers who are out, ministers and deputy ministers, waiting enthusiastically, as you can see, for the box to arrive. Is that Stumo Dlamini?
Looks like it.
Looks like
it certainly does.
Well,
and then,
nice
of course,
to see Stumo after a while.
In the corner of the screen, of course, our sports minister standing by, also waiting. And we were told probably about 10 minutes ago that the bus should be arriving, and in 15 minutes' time. So probably in the next 5 minutes, we should see the Bokke arriving, and we'll be able to get a visual of them and just create again that sense of pride in South Africans. It's a feeling we haven't felt in a long time, I must say. You know, South Africans have been bogged down by far too many events this year that have brought our spirit and morale down. But I just think something like this is just bringing us into the new year and ending off this year with so much hope and love and optimism for us as a country, because, you know, you can't always be shrouded with bad news. You need this good news to lift you up. And my gosh, we've been waiting for something, and look at this.
Moments of of euphoria are never to be scoffed at.
No,
never.
no.
We'll take them wherever we can find them. And I think at this moment, let's just soak it up. Let's just lap it up for what it is. For what it is, a proud moment for our country. Yes, it doesn't negate all the problems that we still have, but just for a moment.
Can we
just
pause? Can we stop and enjoy this?
And lap up all of this happiness.
I know you were at the investment conference yesterday, so was I. It was almost like heaven sent that the booker had won this past weekend, bringing in this investment summit. And I'm not saying that gets rid of the economic problems in the country, because it really doesn't. Again, remember, this is just rugby. This has got nothing to do with anything else. But it's that spirit of optimism and the spirit that don't give up on South Africa. We are not giving up on this country. No one is. South Africans aren't. Sports people aren't. The world isn't. Business people aren't. And that sense of optimism that I felt at that investment conference yesterday was overwhelming. And I want to share that with the country, that as much as we may be feeling down and feeling that things aren't looking good, there are people working to lift this country, and that is what you need to know behind the scenes.
Just a final word on that before we move to Valen. The thing is, my takeaway from that conference yesterday, the panel that I hosted, I think it was Transformation and Development Specialist Dr. Tony Luck, who said all countries have problems, all countries have challenges, but unlike South Africa, they don't throw them out
100%.
For the world. It's like, yes, well, let's first get things going, and then we'll tell you, we have these problems and those problems, and basically saying we tend to have this habit of parading and hanging out our dirty laundry 100%. For the world to see.
And the media play a very big role in that. We really do. And I think that we do not highlight the positives enough. We keep on pushing the negative narrative.
A healthy balance is what we need.
100%.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. That's our philosophy for the morning. You and I having philosophy. These are the conversations we normally have off this. It's so nice that our mics are on. I mean, Valen, I don't know if you've been listening to us talking, and I know these are the sentiments you share as well. So it's just amazing how sport comes in and plays such a major role in all our lives.
Yeah, it certainly does. And that quote that you read from Nelson Mandela, which is now just such a famous quote, it was done in a speech at the Laureus World Sports Awards back in Monaco from the late Tata Madiba, that sport has the power to change the world. I mean, to think that that quote is over 19 years old, but it really does sum up how we feel about sport and the power of sport and its ability to bring South Africans together. So, Kenny, you mentioned that South Africans have this way of hanging out their dirty laundry. Perhaps it's because we are a very honest nation. I suppose you can frame it that way too. Let's bring you up to speed with what else happened, because last night there was a lot of football here at home as well as in Europe. So we'll be continuing to track the developments at the Union Buildings, because of course today is all about the Rugby World Cup Trophy Tour, which gets underway in the Gauteng province.